know where to put anything. I've got too many fucking books everywhere. Hey folks, welcome back to Amber Unabridged. I'm Amber, and this is my doomed to fail April TBR. So this month I'm going to be participating in the Colour-A-Thon. I don't remember who hosts it, but I'll insert their name somewhere. I'm pretty excited for this. I have a lot of things planned for April, but we're just gonna see where this goes. We're just gonna see. I'm gonna fail, but I'm gonna try to get a lot read in the meantime. So the premise of the Colour-A-Thon is that you choose a team. This month for April, the colors are red, purple, black, and white. And I signed up for the white team. I was going to sign up for the black team, but I saw that there were a lot of people signing up for that team, so I wanted to try to balance it out a little bit more by choosing one that was receiving a little less love. Essentially, with this readathon, every page that you read from a book with your team color on the cover, the spine, or the back cover earns you 1 point per page. You can also fulfill one of the prompts, which is to read a full book that fulfills one of the prompts, and that will earn you 25 points. You earn 100 points for completing every prompt, and then you also get 25 points for sharing your TBR. So this is my TBR. So working on them points already. Go team. The prompts for the readathon are, there's only 6 of them. You cannot double up, but you can read, as if you read a book that fulfills a prompt and then you read another book that fulfills the same prompt, you get the points for that prompt twice. But if you read a book that fulfills 2 different prompts, you only get 25 points the one time per book. So the 6 prompts are the book that's been on your shelf the longest, a book that intimidates you, a short story or poetry collection, a book you can read in one sitting, a piece of classic literature, and a book written by a diverse author, LGBTQ+, disabled, etc. Essentially, what I've done is made a list of all the books that I would like to read this month for the readathon. I have some other goals that I'm trying to fulfill as well. I made sure that all of the books have white in the cover so that I can count them towards the readathon. And then I threw some extra books in just because I'm insane. Without further ado, let's get into it. The first book is Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse. This is the only book where I had to get really creative with where the white on the cover was, because there's none on the front or on the spine, but there is some in the text on the back, on the little blurbs, and also the barcode. So I'm going to be reading this with Kimmy over at Uniquely Kimmy. I saw her put it in a video of hers, and I commented, and then we were talking about buddy reading, and she started already, but she's going to wait for me to catch up. So that'll be what I start with first as soon as April hits. The next book that I'm going to be reading is The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. I have heard nothing but amazing things about this book from lots of people, and I'm really excited to finally get around to it. I'm going to be buddy reading this with Sam over at Sarcasm and Sci-Fi, and we're going to be starting this about a week or so into April, so that'll be a fun time. What else do I have? The next book I'm buddy reading is Pachinko by Min Jin Lee, which mostly is just Kat over at Kat the Dog Person being generous and wonderful, because I really wanted to read this month, because apparently I didn't have enough to read already, and asking if she'd have any interest in reading it with me, and she said yes. So we're going to start this a little more than a week into April, and hopefully me trying to balance all of these books out won't fail horrifically. They're 3 of the thickest books that I have for this month. And then the next book that I have, I will actually be listening to the audiobook for, and that is The Rage of Dragons by Evan Winter. I'm going to be buddy reading that with Mahalia over at Nerd It This Way. We were going to buddy read that a while back, and then both kind of just... now we're reading it in April. So next, I'm going to talk about books that fulfill the various prompts for the readathon from my TBR. So the first one is Pachinko. This one is mighty hefty, and I'm using this for the book that's that intimidates you. I'm not actually intimidated by reading it. It's more so that I'm intimidated about the prospect of beginning and finishing this book this month with everything else that I had already set in place, and also the other stuff that I set in place. But the other books I chose were also shorter. So I'm just a little anxious about it, but I'm sure it'll be fine. One of my friends has been basically yelling at me to read this since it came out in 2018. And it sounds amazing. I'm very excited. Next, for the book that's been on your shelf the longest, I'm choosing Geisha a Life by Mineko Iwasaki. There's a sticker on the back of it. I've had this book since I was 18 or 19? 19. I also used this for one of the prompts in the If You Got It, Read It challenge. I tried to double up with that challenge as much as possible. And I think this one has something to do with a book you've had forever as well. A book you've had forever but won't get rid of. So I really need to read it. I really want to. I just keep putting it off. I'm a chronic procrastinator. It's a problem. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. The next book that I am choosing is for a short story collection, and that is Natasha by David Bezmozgis. It's a short story collection I got somewhere, and it's short, so I figure why not add it to my never-ending list of stuff. I also would like to try to get back on track for reading a short story every day. I did really well in February, but I failed in March real hard. Next is a book you can read in one sitting. So I am choosing Orange Future by Ichigo Takano. This is sort of, I think, it's a sequel to Orange, but it's also sort of, I think, new perspective something or other, because it has something to do with time travel, which is my shit. It's got like cherry blossoms, which are white and pink, and then also the stripes on the thing. The next prompt is a book written by a diverse author. I'm going with authors of color. So I have two books that I might use for this. The first one is Long Way Down by Jason Reynolds. It just sounds really cool. It sounds really interesting, and I really want to read it. There's the text is white. There's, white kind of in the background here. I might also potentially count if I finish it this month, which I probably won't because I've been reading it forever, is 400 Souls by Ibram X. Kendi and Keisha and Blaine. I'm still loving this, but I kind of burned out on nonfiction in March, and I haven't been picking this up much. So I'm hoping that with all of my fiction picks for March, this will be, my reprieve from all of the fiction as opposed to the other way around. And then we get to a piece of classic literature. If you don't know this about me, I struggle to make decisions sometimes. So that's my excuse for this. But I also have reasons for everything. So whatever. As I mentioned, I'm trying to double up on my If You Got It, Read It challenge picks as much as possible. So I grabbed Emma by Jane Austen, which is, again, another hefty book. So is 400 Souls. So is half of my TBR. It's fine. It's got white. The text is white. And there's like a line here that's white. And the words. Anyway. But again, it's hefty. So I may not read this one. I might not. The other option I'm going with for this could be The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. This is the book that fulfills the prompt to have somebody pick another book for you to read off of your shelves. Sam from Sarcasm and Sci-Fi chose this book for me off of my shelf, and it's shorter, so I might be able to squeeze it in this month because it's more of a modern classic, but it's still a classic. I was chatting with my friend Kat, and she was like, why are you taking on so many more big books? You could just read Peter Pan and knock it out and it would be fine. And I was like, hey, children's books. That's an idea. So I have two options for that as well. I have Julie of the Wolves by Jean Craighead George. I read this in 5th grade. I've wanted to reread it ever since, just to kind of get a better understanding of it. And if I read this, it will also help me to scratch off a book set in Alaska on my scratch off map posters. So that would be really cool. But also, I have Stuart Little by E.B. White, and this book looks like it would be a real quick read. So, all of them have white on the cover. All of them fit the classic literature. Who knows? Who knows? So, my next book is my choice for my book club pick, which is to choose a book with an environmental theme. Because Arbor Day and Earth Day are in April. So, my choice for this is The Nature Fix, Why Nature Makes Us Happier, Healthier, and More Creative by Florence Williams. I can't read my own handwriting. There was a lot of title to squeeze into a small space. It didn't work so well. I have that as an ebook on Kindle, so I will be reading that. The rest of the books that I have are basically just all books with white on the cover that would count towards my page count for the readathon. There's no way I'm going to finish all of these, but I figure why not try? Because who doesn't want to set themselves up for failure every once in a while, you know? The next book is Sabrina and Karina Stories by Kali Fajardo Anstein. I have that as an ebook as well, and I saw it while I was looking for an environmental pick for book club, so I was like, oh, that seems good, and that will hopefully help me with my short story goal for the month. I may need to grab a third one at some point, but I have 1.5 million short story collections and anthologies, so that shouldn't be a problem. Other books that I have included on my TBR are 8 Keys by Suzanne Lafleur. This is a kid's book that I picked up at Half Price Books or Half Price Book Sale or something. It has something to do with keys and doorways. That's really all I needed. I'm hooked. I'm sold. I'm done. I'm gone. I'm there. The next is The Tarot Cafe by Song Sun Park, which this has white in the tarot. This also fulfills a prompt for the If You Gotta Read It challenge. The next one is Before the Coffee Gets Cold, Tales from the Cafe by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. I loved the first book. I can't wait to read the second book. There's white on the cover, and I have this on my If You Gotta Read It TBR as well. So, might as well try. I really don't think I'm going to get through more than like 4 of these books. I have like 20. The next one is Tokyo Ueno Station by Yumiri. Has some white in the text and like in the buildings and stuff. So pretty excited for that. Also fulfills an If You Gotta Read It challenge. Next book is Karnak Cafe by Naguib Mahfouz. This one is really short. These two, actually all of these are pretty short. This one's shorter. And this one also fulfills an If You Gotta Read It challenge for me. And if I read this, then I can scratch off Egypt from my map, my world map. So that'd be cool. And then I added Obsidio, the 3rd book in the Illuminae files by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. It's another chonker. However, these books are a little different. They've got like kind of a fun, it's like files and stuff for, and there's like a drawing. Some kind of drawing. So theoretically, that wouldn't take me that long. Apparently, I also added Revealed, the 11th book in the House of Night series by PC Cast and Kristen Cast. A friend of mine was reading the beginning of this series earlier in March, and I was like, hey, I should finally finish the last 2 books in this series because I've been reading it for like 13 years, and I don't even like it anymore, but I need to know what happens. And I already bought the books, and I just need to do it. I just need to get it over with and make it happen. And there's the moon on the cover, which is white. I've got my work cut out for me. So if anybody is reading any of these books, or if any of them sound interesting, if you want to buddy read them, maybe not buddy read them. I'm going to have a lot of buddy reading going on, and I might just need to squeeze some of these in between here. But if you want to get together and do some, buddy read time sprint situations or something, please message me so we can set some of these up. I need dedicated reading time this month so that I don't just sit around and watch Survivor and fail so epically, because I will. So anybody who can help me keep myself accountable this month, highly appreciated. Highly appreciated. Feel free to comment down below and we'll hook up on Twitter to get connected or something along those lines. Or, even if you know anybody who's going to be hosting like read-alongs on YouTube or anything like that, let me know about it. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And have a great day. Bye.